The biggest surprise was when I went in the first day of school and I saw that Stefan and I had the exact same hair and facial hair and hairstyle. And I was just like, oh shit, they're gonna think that I'm trying to copy Steph. That was the biggest surprise for me.
All I did was eat, sleep, and breathe filmmaking. And then I had to work on the side to support it, so I absolutely had no life for a year.
The biggest surprise to me about the school is how small the school is and how big the knowledge you can get here is.
I'd like to see an acting conservancy. We got Sagan Lewis, who's an amazing acting coach here. She was in St. Elsewhere, and just a brilliant woman.
And I was very impressed what ZGI is doing in 1 year with the students. And so I approached the college and said, you know, I know a little about acting. I'd love to work with actors here. And they were great. They created this program. There was no acting program before this.
First 7 years I was improving all the time, just simply by doing more. But when Sagan came on board to teach the actors acting for film and to teach the directors how to work with actors, I would say my acting again did an exponential leap because she's such a good teacher.
I loved what I saw here. I have lectured and taught at other acting schools around the country, but what I loved here is that when the students arrive, they're shooting already. They don't have to wait 2 or 3 years before they're shooting their first project.
That's amazing to me, to see the transformation of students from the beginning to the end of the 9 months. It's only 9 months. It's not a one-year program. I mean, it's a school year, so it's only 9 months, which is hard to believe how far they can go in one 9-month curriculum.
So if you can come to the Zaki Gordon Institute and in 9 months see what it takes to be a director and find out if this is what you want to do with the rest of your life, that's a great deal.
We were one of the first all-digital film schools in the country. 10 years ago, we started doing it when the technology really wasn't working as well as it is today.
Filmmaking's changing, and I'm really happy where it's going. The independent world is really becoming mainstream, all these interesting stories, and that's because of not only us, but schools like us that are taking students and getting them to the level where they can produce Hollywood-level films, but much more interesting personal stories that people want to see.
Suddenly, it's going to open up another huge door again for those people making those $100,000, $200,000 movies. Or the documentary industry is really going to pop.
You're going to get there, you're going to get it done, and this is, a place I would just, advise everybody who is interested in filmmaking to come here. Even if you don't want to be a filmmaker for the rest of your life, just come over here, learn how to do things, and it would not only teach you how to make movies, it will teach you how to do other things about life.
I would always say just do it because it opens lots of possibilities. Even if you don't become a filmmaker or a videographer, you've opened some creative channels that can go into a lot of different arenas.
I've told many of my friends that are interested in filmmaking to come here because you're going to be able to be a filmmaker and not study about being a filmmaker. You're going to do it. Roll camera.
This is an incredible platform to learn an incredible amount and to take that forward into creating whatever destiny you want to create within the film world.
I think destiny happens from 2 factors. One is how much effort we put into where we want to go, and the other is kind of the other side of life meeting us halfway and opening doors or allowing us to continue on that part of the journey.
It's easy to sit and write poems or write words, but they're never going to go anywhere. But when you're part of a process and you see it from start to finish and it's a creative process, it's just so touching for me. That, to me, is when you know you did the right thing because now you're actually doing it all the time.
I would tell them to definitely make sure it's what they have a passion for. It's the passion that drives you and motivates you and keeps you coming back. And it just has to be a fire that's lit that you just run with and you can't burn it out. And you either have it or you don't.
It is like boot camp, but there's nothing else like it. If you want to be a filmmaker, producer, editor, camera person, whatever it is the place to go.
And my philosophy is always go and be scared, but take that next step toward the unknown, and you'll be fascinated by what will happen.
The whole notion of making a movie was a fantasy to me. So now it became a reality. It became a destiny and not just a dream. That's what the school did for me. So yeah, Dan's right. It is a school of destiny.
I have witnessed the school change people in dramatic ways. And for myself, it's been very dramatic since I met my husband here.
If I could say to anybody out there that has a dream, a desire, and wants to have a destiny, do it. Find your bliss and just do it.
You know, the biggest surprise sometimes is just to find that you fit. And I fit. I fit pretty well.
I think it's amazing that Dan followed through with his dream. And Stefan Schulte has been incredibly dedicated. I think the world of Stefan. I think it's wonderful that these men made Zaki's dream happen.
I would say he would just be stoked to see how much his memory has inspired us all.
I'm sure wherever Zaki is, he's really happy with what's happened here, because his idea has found its way into reality through his father and through Yavapai College, and I'm very grateful to everybody concerned.
I feel like wherever Dan has helped his son continue to have a place here on Earth, I think there's a part of Zaki that's there, and he's been a part of it the whole time.
That's how this place came to be, and I think it was meant to be. I absolutely am convinced it was meant to be. I'm convinced it was part of a plan that I'm too close up to see the design of. And that's okay too.
And you're very engaging.
To do it.
I really enjoyed it.